Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Historic Militaria. And today we're going to be looking at a French F1 grenade, which was a very standard piece of French equipment through World War I and right up until the fall of France in 1940. This grenade was sort of the grandfather of the American pineapple grenade, the Soviet F1 grenade, and really a whole bunch of the fragmentation grenades that you'll see in use after World War I and indeed up until today. So it's a really hefty grenade. It's got the serrations, obviously, for handling. And you pick this up and you really feel like you could beat somebody over the head if that doesn't even go off. Again, we're not handling a live grenade here, so this is inert and it's perfectly safe to be handling. This one is actually a just pre-World War II one. It is not a World War I one, and you can tell that by this fuse. This is actually the model of 1935 fuse. It's improved over the original 1916 Ballant fuse, which was decent and popular with soldiers, but the French found they could make it a little more simple, a little more robust, so they started using this. Again, the method of operation of this grenade is very, very easy. You just pull this pin comes out, your handle flies off, and it initiates the detonation chain, which then goes down into here and blows up your grenade. And it's got about a 5-second delay, which is pretty standard. It was originally in World War I, it was filled with about 60 grams of an explosive called cheddite, which was used a lot in quarrying and industry. I'm not really going to get into all the specifics of the chemical structure of it, but suffice to say it exploded. By World War II, or just before World War II, the filling had turned to TNT, which was sort of a more stable and more widespread explosive for military explosives and hand grenades. And that's what this guy would have been filled with. These were made by the tens of millions, and they went everywhere. If there was fighting that was done after World War II, probably these were there and being used, or copies, or locally made copies, or somebody turning them out somewhere. This is a French one. It's got ARE on it, and that is typical French maker marks. And just the whole construction of it is very typical French, high-quality grenade. This is very well made, very popular with soldiers. As a matter of fact, during World War I, U.S. soldiers from the Expeditionary Force used these. These were standard. Russians on both the red and the white side during the Russian Civil War used these extensively, and that influenced obviously the Soviet F1 grenade, which was very, very popular in World War II and beyond, and is still used wherever Soviet weaponry is being used. You'll still encounter those on battlefields all over the world. This particular example, like I said, is just prior to World War II. So these would have been used right before the fall of France and in defending France and during the early time of World War II. I'm not sure how many of these the Germans actually captured when they took over France. I would imagine that they would have been probably used against the Americans and Allied forces when they landed at Normandy. But again, I'm not sure of specifics on it. Anyway, this is just an interesting sort of grandfather of a lot of grenades that a lot of people know about, but this is the original one. This is the one that started it all, if you will. And again, you can tell this is a defensive grenade because of all the serrations and the heft of this. It's meant to fragment into very, very heavy pieces of shrapnel that will fly a long way. A trained soldier could probably get about a 35 to 40 meter throw out of this, and it's going to throw fragments probably up to about 200 meters. So when you get rid of one of these, you're going to want to take cover. It's not like an offensive grenade, which has a really light metal body and doesn't throw fragments very far, relying mostly on blast. So again, this would be used by soldiers who were defending a position or had readily available cover, not by soldiers out in the open who were running towards an enemy position to assault it. Either way, just an interesting example of a grenade you don't see very often. Seems like not a lot of these have survived. Most have been expended or destroyed or who knows what. But thank you for watching, and if there's anything specific you would like to see a video on, let me know and I'll see what I can do for you. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I will be making more of these. Thank you very much.